It's the news that we've been waiting for since the season ended. Who was going to be the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots? Was it going to be Terrell Williams? Was it going to be Zak Kuhr? Or were they going to bring in Shane Bowen or Jim Schwartz? Well, we got the news last night that the Patriots are officially promoting Zak Kuhr to DC, and this comes from Tom Pelissero. He impressed the Patriots so much, and you couldn't pry away those play calling from him. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and I think this is great news. I've made multiple videos about this, multiple decisions, and what the Patriots should do, and I think that they made the right decision. So if you're excited about the news, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Let's show all of YouTube just how excited we are for the Patriots to officially find their defensive coordinator. Now, he already coached this whole entire season, but I will say I'm pretty excited that he is getting play calling because he deserves it. And this is exactly what needed to happen for the New England Patriots. I made this video last Thursday or 10 days ago, however it was. And I said, here's my plan. Promote Zak Kuhr to defensive coordinator and make Terrell Williams the assistant head coach or associate head coach, whatever you want to call it. And then on Thursday of last week, we saw Ian Rappaport tweet out that the Patriots were moving defensive coordinator Terrell Williams to a higher-ranking role on the staff. And it was kind of what we expected. You can't really give Terrell Williams his job back because Zak Kuhr did such an incredible job. But you're not just going to take away a guy his job just because he was fighting cancer. That is unethical, to say the least, and he is still a perfect part and a big part of this defense. So now you're moving him to a higher role where he is going to be collaborating with Mike Vrabel, with Zak Kuhr. But it has not been fully said what Terrell Williams' role is. We do not know if he's going to be assistant head coach. We do not know if he's going to be associate. Will he be a senior defensive analyst? I don't know, and neither do we, but it will find out. He is staying on the staff, which he should, and Zak Kuhr is being the defensive coordinator. The perfect plan. Because, honestly, this is just what the defense needed. When you look at the defensive stats from 2025, everything is in the top 10. And why is that? Because of Zak Kuhr and his defense. What his play calling, his schemes that he came up every single week, they were great. And in the playoffs, they only exceeded expectations. 13.8 points per game. There was in the Chargers game. They didn't allow a touchdown. In the Texans game, they only allowed one touchdown. Championship game, you allowed a touchdown in the first quarter and then nothing after that. And in the Super Bowl, we know what happened, but still a great defensive effort. You held them to 9 points and a half, so I can't really complain about that. And I will say, this is big for the Patriots going into 2026 because a lot of teams have turnover over and over and over. And when you're working with defensive players, when you're working with offensive players, they like to have the coaches that they coached them that season. If you look at the Eagles and you look at possibly like Jalen Hurts, who's going through another offensive coordinator for like the 5th time in 5 years, you never get that true chemistry between. But if you see the major head coaches, you have Mike Vrabel returning, you have Josh McDaniels returning, and you have Zak Kuhr returning. All your 3 head coaches from that Super Bowl making team returning in 2026. And not many teams are having all major head coaches in the top 3 returning. If I missed one, you can let me know down in the comments section. But the Patriots are one of them with a little asterisk because obviously it was a new coach from Zak Kuhr. Whoa, there we go. Thank you, Sam. But it's all good here. But if you look, the Vikings, Texans, Colts, Jags, Bengals, they're all keeping all of their coaches. And I think when you look at players, it helps them develop more, specifically your quarterback, and I think Drake May's going to develop more. I think a lot of players on the defense, because the defense is very young. With Milton Williams kind of collaborating with Zak Kuhr, it can build that bond and get even stronger going into the next season. And of course, you have some coaches that have left. You have some coaches that are going to be joining the New England Patriots. And you see Vinny Del Palma is being promoted to linebackers coach after Zak Kuhr was promoted to DC. and a former linebacker at Boston College. He's been in New England, a defensive assistant, the last 2 seasons. But they also added another coach. They added a Southern Miss's linebacker or running backs coach, B.J. Edmonds. Edmonds, who once played safety at Arkansas State, also spent time at Duke and Utah State for a few years. It's unclear what this role will be on Mike Vrabel's staff. So there's a little coaching turnover throughout the couple seasons, but you have your major staff together. And you have it all coming together and trying to replicate that run in 2026. It's not like you have some person who's going to get hired for a head coach, some person who's going to get hired for a coordinator, a defensive coordinator, because a lot of teams left. So when you have that tight-knit group together, you can work from day one. I'm sure that Vrabel, McDaniels, and Kuhr all got in the same room days after the Super Bowl, said, how are we going to come up with a plan in 2026 to have the same success rather than other teams? For example, the Seattle Seahawks. The second the Super Bowl ended, Clint Kubiak, their offensive coordinator, their play caller, left for the Raiders. So they had to not plan on next year. They were planning on who the hell is going to be our play caller. That's what they had to figure out. The Patriots don't have to deal with that, and I think that gives them a little advantage going into next season. I'm confident in this coaching staff, man. I'm really excited, and I know it's only February, but this season is going to be coming up on us in a second. Before you know it, it'll be free agency, then the draft, then OTAs, minicamp, training camp, and once again, we'll be back here in September for the season. So if you're confident in this coaching staff, go ahead, hit that thumbs up icon. On the back half of the show, I'm not confident in PFF. It is something that honestly pissed me off, because the disrespect to Christian Gonzalez is absolutely going insane, and I'm going to rip PFF to shreds for this list, because whoever wrote this should have their credentials taken away and have their writing credibility taken away, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But we'll get into that in a second. But first, if you want to get your St. Patrick's Day merch, we got it on sale now for your New England drinking team. You can rep the Patriots while also repping your green, because if you're not wearing green, well, then you get pinched. So you don't want to do that. Get your t-shirts right now, chatsports.com/PatsGreen. It's also nice. Support the channel, support Chat Sports. That helps the channel build. It helps us grow to be able to do more things. We were at the Super Bowl literally 2 weeks ago. And guess what? That's thanks to all you guys who support this channel. So go get your t-shirts now, chatsports.com/PatsGreen, $29.99. We're not going to be selling these past St. Patrick's Day, so if you want to get it now, get it while supplies last. That'll be in the comments and description of today's video. So let's get into what these idiots over at PFF had to say. Top 100 players in the NFL was revealed, and they're only at 41 right now, but Christian Gonzalez was ranked 95th overall. And for one, I disagree with that ranking, because he's better than 95th in the NFL, but it comes after what I saw from all of the corners that were ranked ahead of him. Here's what PFF had to say. After a slow start, and I want to stop there, but Gonzo finished the season strong, highlighted by an 86.8 PFF overall coverage grade in the Super Bowl. He ranked 11th among the 109 qualifying cornerbacks in PFF coverage grade in 2025. He allowed a passer rating of just 57% when targeted, which is 4th at the position. But at first, I want to say, slow start? Do you mean because he didn't play the first 4 games because of injury? What do you mean slow start? Because when he came back, when Gonzo came back in that Carolina game, you immediately saw his impact. Terrell McMillan, absolutely nowhere. It took 9 games for Gonzo to play to let up a touchdown. And do you know, when Christian Gonzalez was in the game, the Patriots did not lose until their 21-point collapse against the Buffalo Bills. And a big reason why was because of Christian Gonzalez locking down every single top cornerback in the NFL. Slow start is one. So that's where they're wrong. But they kept going and saying that, well, he was just okay. Yeah, and 95th, I mean, not the best cornerback in football. Like, what do you mean? I'm not even bringing up his playoff stats where he excelled to look like the best cornerback in football, but just in 2025, in 14 games, a completion percentage. If you're targeting him, you are only completing 43% of your passes. That would be worse than the NFL. In QB rating, 57. That would be bench-worthy. 10 pass breakups and 69 tackles. And then he steps up even more in the playoffs. 19 tackles in 4 games. 7 pass breakups in 4 games. You want to complete a pass? Good luck. He had the game-winning interception in the AFC Championship game. That completion percentage dropped to 36.7. That means pretty much 3 out of your 10 passes are being completed when you're targeting Christian Gonzalez. And his QB rating was absolutely awful if you're a quarterback at 38.3, but even better when it comes to cornerbacks. He stepped up in the playoffs, and he showed that he is the best cornerback in football, and it's not even close. You want to talk about, Derek Stingley's better? Well, Drake May had a bomb, an absolute bomb to Kayshon Boutte for that one-handed catch. Yeah, give me a freaking break. And then I'm like, well, I gave you the stats. Well, let's look at some of the cornerbacks that are listed ahead of Christian Gonzalez. Pat Surtain. I think Pat Surtain is the second best corner in football. But PFF ranked Pat Surtain at 91st. So that means Trent McDuffie, Jamel Dean, Jaquan McMillan, Kamari Lassiter, and Mike Jackson were all ranked ahead of both Gonzo and Surtain. And this is only 100 through 41st. I don't see Blankenship's name on there. I don't see Stingley's name on there. I don't see the other Eagles cornerback that's on there. So I guaranteed that they're probably going to be on that top 100 list, and that means that there are, quote-unquote, so many better corners than Christian Gonzalez. This is the worst list that I've ever freaking seen. How do you watch every single week and think, Gonzo and Pat Surtain, and you know I can't stand the Broncos? But you're telling me the 2 best corners in football are worse than other 5, and I guarantee you more cornerbacks are going to show up on this list. All those corners are better than Christian Gonzalez and Pat Surtain, who are 2 of the most lockdown corners in football. You see every single week, Gonzo lines up on the best wide receiver. Lockdown. You saw the passer rating when targeting Christian Gonzalez was less than 50 in the postseason. A 36 completion percentage. You don't go against Gonzo Island and win. You go against everybody else and win. If you target Christian Gonzalez, you are not going to have a good day. And I want to bring up the photo of the Super Bowl. Let's see Mike Jackson do this. Let's see Jamel Dean do that. I haven't seen Trent McDuffie do this. Right there. One of the best pass breakups I have ever seen in a playoff game. It is unbelievable that they had the disrespect to put him as one of top 10 cornerback in football. It's top 2 and it's not even close. And you know why? Because PFF doesn't know shit. You know no shit? The NFL and the scouts. Because Christian Gonzalez is eligible for a contract extension, and he's going to be the highest paid corner in NFL history. And I can tell you right now, as an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler, and what he has done to this Pats defense when he returned, we remember watching Alex Austin in the first couple weeks. It was bad. Gonzo is going to be worth $160 million, and you have to give him that money. Give him whatever he wants. Because he needs to be a Patriot for the long term. He has to be a Patriot. He's only at 23 years old. He's got a long way ahead of him, and he could go on the likes of Stephon Gilmore, Darrelle Revis, those top Patriot cornerbacks in history. He should win DPOY at some point. I'm not going to listen to no PFF article that says Jamel Dean is better than him or Mike Jackson. Give me a freaking break. Is Gonzo a top 3 corner in the NFL? He's number 1 in my opinion. If you want to say Pat Surtain, that's fine. But even PFF had Pat Surtain as just worse than all 5 of those guys I listed. So go down in the comment section. Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. It's the off season. You're getting bad lists, but we're covering every single thing. We got the combine next week. We got free agency coming up. We got the draft. We have you covered here on Patriots Today. You don't want to miss out. So hit that sub button. And as always, let's go Pats.